Archaeologists have discovered a huge ancient city.
Now, archaeologists have discovered ancient rock carvings.
2,000 years has been lying buried beneath volcanic rock.
12,000 years. That is how long they claim to have been alive. 7 figures, still breathing, sitting beneath the Himalayan ice since before the first pyramid was laid, since before Göbekli Tepe was abandoned, since before humanity learned to write a single word. And in 2023, a team of explorers found them, then watched as every government on Earth scrambled to make sure nobody ever would again. Think about that for a second. This is not folklore. This is not a mistranslation of ancient texts. This is not a story passed down through generations until the truth dissolved into myth. This is what appears in classified expedition logs, supported by geomagnetic readings that no scientist has been able to explain, and biological measurements that defy everything we know about human lifespan. 5 researchers went into a restricted zone in the eastern Himalayas. They came out 31 days later, claiming they had made contact with a monastic order that predates human civilization. And one of them carried proof, a crystal that still pulses with a frequency matching the Earth itself. Here is what they reported. The map that shouldn't exist. It started in a monastery near Lhasa. Monks who had guarded secrets for 8 centuries approached an international research team with a 900-year-old piece of goatskin parchment. The document was not a religious text. It was a map. Geometric symbols covered its surface, triangular markings and energy lines that matched no known historical record. But here's the catch. When researchers overlaid the parchment's coordinates onto modern satellite imagery, the symbols aligned perfectly with a specific location in the eastern Himalayas, an area that had never been surveyed, an area where, according to the monks, something called the Valley of the Undying had waited for over a millennium to be found again. The monastery's elders believed the time had come. They entrusted the map to a 5-person expedition, team led by Dr. Elena Voss, a German geologist. Every member had survived at altitudes above 5,000 meters. Every member had, at some point, survived a near-death experience. The monks considered this essential, a sign that these individuals had already touched the boundary between existence and oblivion. They departed Kathmandu carrying geomagnetic sensors, radiation meters, and supplies for 30 days. Their objective was to locate whatever was generating the anomalous energy indicated on a map drawn 9 centuries before modern surveying technology existed. Something was wrong with the ice. 7 days in, the instrument started going haywire. At 6,200 meters, sensors detected a band of magnetic anomalies stretching 4 kilometers along a natural ridge. The readings were 3 times higher than normal background levels. Something massive was buried beneath the ice. Something metallic, something that should not exist in a natural geological formation. Dr. Wei, the team's linguistics expert, compared the ancient map's markings with satellite data. They matched a triangular geological structure visible only through modern imaging. And get this, such a formation could not have occurred naturally. The shape was too precise, too deliberate. Someone had built something here, then buried it. On day 11, they found a 200-meter strip of exposed ground where the ice had melted and refused to refreeze. Ambient temperature, -35 degrees. The rock was warm to the touch. Radiation levels measured 3 times higher than the surrounding area. Sarah Mitchell, the expedition's photographer, tried to document it. Her camera systems malfunctioned repeatedly. The footage showed spiral interference patterns, electromagnetic signatures similar to low-frequency military equipment. But when they scanned for transmission sources, they found nothing within 50 kilometers. Whatever was generating this energy existed on no known frequency band, warm air in a frozen tomb. On day 18, the team reached a frozen waterfall, 40 meters of solid ice cascading down a cliff face. Spectral imaging detected something behind it, a hollow chamber extending into the mountain. They drilled for 2 hours, 7 meters of solid ice. Exhausting, dangerous work at altitude. Then the drill broke through. Warm air rushed out. Not cold mountain air, warm. The expelled gas contained high concentrations of hydrogen and iron, a composition completely unlike the surrounding atmosphere. This was air from a sealed environment, air that had been trapped for an incalculable span of time. The entrance was 2 meters wide, shrouded in dense vapor. On the stone walls flanking the opening, carved symbols, interlocking triangles, identical to the central emblem on the 900-year-old map. Every recording device began showing continuous interference. Geomagnetic sensors fluctuated violently. Radio contact vanished. In her field, notes, Dr. Voss wrote, internal energy source approximately 470% higher than background levels. Temperature rose from -42 degrees to +18 degrees within 7 minutes. No scientific explanation at current time. The team entered. Beyond the threshold lay a stone corridor over 400 meters long, illuminated by luminescent quartz crystals maintaining a constant temperature of 18 degrees, 60 degrees warmer than the frozen wasteland above. On the walls, thousands of ancient carvings depicted woolly mammoths, saber-toothed tigers, and humans wearing cloaks gathered around crystalline structures. Carbon dating placed these images at 15,000 to 20,000 years old. Midway through the corridor, they found 7 human skeletons arranged in a perfect circle, heads pointing inward. Beside each skeleton, a ceramic jar marked with a twin spiral symbol. Strontium isotope analysis revealed the 7 individuals had come from completely different regions: Central Asia, North Africa, the Mediterranean. This was intercontinental contact, thousands of years before civilization was supposed to exist. And then Marcus's watch reversed 12 seconds before returning to normal, a localized time disturbance, never previously documented in scientific literature. The corridor ended at a circular chamber 200 meters wide. At its center, 7 crystalline platforms arranged in a ring, emitting steady silver blue light. Quartz formations nearly 2 meters tall, perfectly intact. Motion sensors detected rhythmic pulses from the center, a frequency matching a human heartbeat. They were not alone, they were breathing. 7 human figures sat motionless on the crystalline platforms, their postures identical, their faces serene, their chests barely moving, and every instrument confirmed the impossible. These were living beings. Body temperature held constant at 36.5 degrees, heart rates between 28 and 32, beats per minute, extraordinarily slow, but steady. Steady for how long? Brainwave sensors detected alpha waves indicating deep consciousness, the kind of neural activity measured in advanced meditators, but sustained at levels never documented in scientific literature. Thermal cameras revealed spiraling energy streams rising from each figure toward the ceiling, pulsing in perfect synchronization with the quartz crystals surrounding them. The 7 shared nearly identical features. Approximately 1.75 meters tall, fair skin, long hair, smooth faces showing no visible aging, no biological deterioration, no decay. According to the artifact dating, the most recent evidence of human activity in this chamber was 12 centuries old, but the skeletons in the corridor dated back 11,700 years, and these 7 appeared to have been here since the beginning. Think about that. These individuals had been sitting in meditation since the last ice age ended, since the Ida glaciers retreated, since the world we know began to take shape. When the team moved closer, one of the figures opened his eyes. The pupils shone with a metallic golden hue, not human, not quite. The others awakened instantly, moving in perfect unison, as if controlled by a single mind. The air temperature rose. The electromagnetic field destabilized. Sensors screamed warnings. And then a voice filled the chamber, clear, calm, speaking in modern English with no accent, no hesitation, no trace of uncertainty. The speaker sat at the center. He introduced himself as Thorn. The expedition's recording equipment captured his first words with remarkable clarity, despite the surrounding interference. "You have taken 1,273 years to find us again." The number matched the carbon dating of the most recent artifacts in the cave. Someone had visited 12 centuries ago, and whoever they were, they left knowing others would eventually return. You took 1,273 years to find us again. Thorn explained everything, and none of it made sense, and all of it was recorded. He and his companions were survivors of what he called Earth's final upheaval, the catastrophic climate collapse at the end of the last ice age. The planet had shifted, the poles had wandered. Civilizations that history does not remember had crumbled into extinction. And a small group of humans had endured by merging meditative practice with geomagnetic energy absorption. 100 people had originally entered this cave when humanity faced extinction. They came from different continents. The strontium isotope evidence in the corridor confirmed it. They gathered here because they understood something about energy, about consciousness, about the relationship between human biology and planetary forces. Only 7 remained. 93 others had failed to maintain equilibrium. Their bodies decayed, their energy dissipated, but these 7 had achieved something permanent. Their survival depended on 3 principles: deep meditation to lower biological frequency to its minimum sustainable level, absorption of mineral-rich water and geomagnetic current from the Earth itself, and quartz resonance to stabilize their internal electrical field. The crystals were not decoration. They were technology. 12,000-year-old technology that modern science cannot replicate or explain. Dr. Wei attempted to communicate in ancient Tibetan. Thorne answered fluently in modern English. "Language is energy," he said. "It is not learned, only remembered." The team documented this as evidence of non-verbal communication through what they tentatively called a shared consciousness field. Information transfer that occurred independent of spoken words. The team measured the body frequency of all 7 figures at 7.83 Hz. That number matters. It is the exact frequency of Earth's Schumann resonance, the electromagnetic pulse of the planet. Itself. They had synchronized their biology with the planet's heartbeat. They were, in some measurable sense, extensions of the Earth rather than separate organisms. Thorne clarified they were not immortal in any supernatural sense. They were biologically stabilized. When energy inside the body maintains perfect equilibrium, he said, aging ceases. Not slows, ceases. The biological clock stops. Cells regenerate at precisely the rate they degrade. Entropy reaches 0. Asked what they knew of the outside world, Thorne replied they had observed humanity's development through planetary energy fluctuations, sensing the fall of ancient civilizations, the construction of the pyramids, the rise and collapse of empires, wars and plagues, and industrial revolutions. All of it registered through the Earth's electromagnetic field, all of it recorded in their continuous awareness. 12,000 years of human history, witnessed from beneath the ice. Audio sensors captured his voice at a steady 110 Hz, no detectable sign of respiration. He explained that breathing occurred at the cellular level, no constant air exchange required. The body had transcended its ordinary limitations. But here's the catch. Thorne delivered a warning, and this is where the tone shifted entirely. Humanity, he said, was entering a new energy cycle, one that echoed the conditions preceding the last ice age. The planet's magnetic flow was destabilizing. Polarity would reverse within decades. The consequences would be massive climate transformation on a global scale. This was not catastrophe in the punitive sense. This was natural law. When planetary energy loses balance, the Earth restores equilibrium through forced stabilization, a period of global cooling and energetic realignment. Humanity had survived such cycles before. Whether it would survive again depended on choices yet to be made. The window, according to Thorne, was 7 to 12 years. He requested they not photograph their faces. An image fixes frequency, he said, unsuitable for those who exist as transforming energy. Then something went wrong. Marcus noticed a small crystal lying apart from the main formations. Without thinking, he moved toward it. The moment he touched it, every light in the cave extinguished. Temperature plunged to negative 20 degrees within seconds. The quartz crystals emitted a deep harmonic hum that vibrated in the bones. Light shifted to pale red. Visible rings of energy rotated around the 7 platforms. The mountain rumbled, magnitude 3 on the seismograph. Thorne rose. His voice carried a weight that seemed to press against the air itself. This knowledge does not belong to your era. Then he approached Dr. Voss and placed a small, glowing crystal in her hand. Remain silent, he said, until the right time. The crystal pulsed with low-frequency waves. Thorne explained it contained the planet's base frequency. It would resonate with future geomagnetic changes. Proof. Key to confirming the truth when confirmation became necessary. The 7 figures returned to their positions. Eyes closed, biological rhythms dropping toward 0. the chamber fell silent. Silence. What they erased. As the team prepared to exit, every navigation device failed. Every clock froze. When instruments resumed function, they showed a 47-minute gap. No recorded data. No memory of leaving. The last thing anyone remembered was the chamber going dark. The next thing they knew, they were waking up 15 kilometers from the entrance. Equipment intact. Every frame of video footage erased. Every hard drive wiped clean, except for the audio recordings and instrument data. 47 minutes. Gone. As if someone, or something, had reached into their minds and removed it. Within days, Indian and Chinese military units sealed the region under a strict access ban. Helicopters, armed patrols, satellite surveillance. All research terminated. All information classified at the highest levels. The 5 expedition members signed lifelong confidentiality agreements under threat of prosecution. They disappeared from public view. No interviews, no academic papers, no conference presentations. But fragments have surfaced. Dr. Voss kept the crystal. Despite everything, she kept it. Monitoring has shown steady microenergy radiation. Emissions that match global geomagnetic changes documented throughout 2024. No device has identified the source of this energy. No theory has explained the precise correlation between the crystal's pulses and fluctuations in the Earth's magnetic field recorded by observatories on 4 continents. The 5 team members have never spoken publicly, but sources close to the expedition have confirmed. The crystal's emissions have intensified in recent months. The frequency is growing stronger. The intervals between pulses are shortening, as if something is building, as if something is waking up. Official institutions admit the expedition occurred. They refuse to release results. Seismic data shows a sharp geomagnetic surge lasting 48 hours after the team departed. Magnetic field oscillations continued for months afterward. No earthquake was recorded. No volcanic activity. No explanation was offered. The case was closed. And get this. Last month, for the first time in recorded history, independent observatories detected a low-frequency pulse emanating from the Himalayan fault line. The frequency, 7.83 Hertz. An exact match for the crystal in Dr. Voss's possession. An exact match for the Earth's Schumann resonance. An exact match for the body frequency of 7 figures sitting in meditation beneath 12,000 years of ice. The signal. Something is down there. Something that watched humanity crawl out of caves and build pyramids and split the atom and land on the moon. Something that has been waiting. The crystal pulses on. The frequency from the Himalayas grows stronger. And whatever Thorne warned about the destabilization, the reversal, the cycle humanity has forgotten, the countdown may have already begun. Subscribe if you want to know what happens next. Because some truths don't wait to be discovered, they wait to be revealed.